So what's the process for that happening? Can you talk us through the process of how that would happen and the steps someone needs to go through and how long it takes to actually get into retail?
Well, I think let's start from the end. How long it takes? This is, a very hard question because some of the brands we work with are entering retail as fast as within 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
Some of them are as slow as between 8 to 12 months. So it really depends because case by case. Now let me explain a little bit. When you have a buyer like with a company from a company like, let's say, Gabe's, Menards, off-price, easy retailers, I would call them, even TJ Maxx, as big as they are, they work very fast, and they like your product, you're gonna enter just like that in a matter of no time. You're gonna fill up the paperwork, send them samples, of course, get into the pricing, make sure everything is right, quantities, boom, you get the order. They don't need EDI, CRM, any complicated onboarding, nothing. But then, if you're selling, for instance, pharmacy items, and your target is companies like CVS with almost 10,000 stores or locations, or AGB, they're more regional, but still they're quite big, Walgreen, national one, then you're going to end up in a process that would at least take between 2 and 4 months. Now, I think the fastest, again, is 1 month, but again, with Costco, for instance, if let's say that you are approaching 100 retailers, and this is also starting to address the first part of your question, how do I start and everything? You just need to get the buyers on your hand. This is one thing. The buyers mean their contact. Now, nobody wants to answer any phone call. Forget it. They will not answer. The same way that, if someone calls me and I'm like, who's calling me? Mom, what are you calling me? Text me. If your mother is calling you and it's bothering you, think about a buyer when a vendor calls him, hi, I would like to introduce you to our products. I'm like, what? What year is it? So anyway, it's going to be still old school by email. You're not going to send any text messages. We used to do that as well. I used to have WhatsApp with buyers. They don't really like it. It's not comfortable. It's involving private life and business life. It's not the best fit. But definitely LinkedIn is also an option. But let's say you have the right buyer email and you want to approach them. There's a lot of different ways to approach, and we can expand the conversation about it later. But once you know how you're going to approach them, you need to keep in mind conversion. And this is where offline goes back to online and learning from online. I know for a fact that everything in life is conversion besides marriage, okay?
Marriage is definitely conversion.
No, I mean, you don't meet with 1,000 women just to pick up one. I mean, maybe you do, but I didn't. But anyway,
I think it's definitely a numbers game. No, marriage is.
You think?
Like
Okay. So I guess I was just lucky, I guess.
You're just lucky.
Yeah, but really, if you approach 100 retailers, you better expect at least 20 of them getting back to you saying yes or no. And if 10%, or 10 buyers, doesn't matter, let's say 10% for being more precise, will get back to you saying, hey, we're interested, show me samples, let's go on a call, what's the inventory looking like, and so on, or packaging and so on, then you know you're on the right track. Eventually, if you're going to close a deal with between 3 to 5 retailers, you're doing good. Okay? That's, in short, the process. But again, it's a matter of conversion. Keep in mind, 29,000 retailers in the US, that means that you can apply to a lot of them. Okay? Applying to them just takes time because it's a lot of hard work and digging, the right contacts and everything. And it's not only buyers, by the way. There's a lot of different titles. We'll get to that. But going back to the second part of the question, if it's Costco, for instance, with Costco, it would never be less than a year. Never. Whatever happens. And you know what? Sometimes I suspect, because I've been in that process a couple of times, I suspect that even if they want to have you there within 2 or 3 months, they wouldn't do it because there's some kind of a hidden policy saying, let's check on these guys as far and deep as we can. Let's see how strong they are to go through the entire year with us and not just say, okay, I'm done here. I'm giving up. Okay, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a super stable, strong companies to be their vendors. But that's Costco. They're not typical company, not an example for anything. So it varies. But even if your brand if your brand has one product that is patent product or 10 SKUs and above, I would even say carefully 8 SKUs and above, you probably have very good chances to sell in retail, but you do need to have a proper branded website. You cannot present them your Amazon listing, not because they don't know about your Amazon activity. We said that in the beginning. They know everything about you from the second they get your email, but because they want to see that you are really creating here a brand and not just being an Amazon seller. And that's a huge difference. Even if that's the reality, even if I'm selling on Amazon and that's it, still, creating a branded, good-looking website today shouldn't be something,
Should be 2 days.
takes more than a couple. Exactly. Exactly.
I just got a brand new site made, and I think I will be embarrassed in a year of how much I paid for it, because already now my friends are throwing up good websites, and within a year I would have been like, why did I pay thousands of dollars for this thing, which I could have made in 20 minutes?
True. Yeah, same here.
Cool. So we're going through the process. We've reached out. So this is asking you a bit about your business, about Retail Empire, but how do you guys work now? Because previously you had like a semi-software way of doing it. Did you like a subscription model? How do you work and how do you fit into the model now of help?
Yeah, we still do the subscription model. We have 2 tiers, like normal tier of approaching an amount of retailers, and then you can double it if you want to expedite the process and go big. And that's for more advanced brands that know, their potential is big. They want to go and they want to grow fast. They don't want to wait for anything. But then, like anyone else, we created our SaaS dashboard, which is, giving our customers the opportunity to see exactly what we're doing for them, how we approach the buyers, what are we telling them, what the buyers are saying, 100% transparent, and they also see, list of retailers that are in the pipeline or already approached, and statistics and metrics and everything. So that's on our, on our side. But I think what changed mostly is that since we had more and more brands coming to our service, we were trying to identify what's the right way to go through, besides the dashboard and, being, addressing what happens every year, 2024, 25, 26. But also, so here's the thing, I'm going a little bit backwards. When I worked with my products until 2017, I was selling to, at the top, 60 retailers. We're talking Kate Spade, we're talking Urban Outfitter, but we're also talking Home Goods and Marshall, off-price, mid-price, you name it. I figured we need to have more retailers to be able to assist, all these brands coming in. And I think it went very massive in the last 2 years. I think since last time we spoke, we probably doubled, if not more, our connections in terms of how many retailers we work with. As of today, we cooperate with about approximately 450 retailers, but that's the closed circle. So that means that if a brand stays with us as long as needed, they will see that we are reaching out to thousands of different retailers. And if you wake me up in the middle of the night, I wouldn't know more than 100 names because I just can't remember all of them. So, yeah, I'm looking at my inbox sometimes. I'm looking at the email like, wait a second, who are these guys? I don't know them. I'm trying Claude on them, and I was like, whoa, they have 500 stores. Where did that came from? I never heard about them. So it's funny.
Super funny, yeah. And like the reason I wanted to go that way is like, yes, we could go into the details of how to outreach directly to these people, but from my memory and understanding, like your service is so inexpensive for the amount of legwork you do. There's almost no point reaching out yourself at scale. So
right. I mean, yeah.
Well, unless you want to build an entire system around it, and if they want to build an entire system, they should just book a call with you anyway and pick your brain.
Right.
So how does it work mechanically? How do you charge for this service when you work with people and help people get into these retail stores?
So right now we're charging $1,800 a month, or $3,000 if you want to double everything, and plus 5% commission, which we're we're charging only after the vendor is getting fully paid in the bank, not before. And we charge it from the amount they get in the bank and not the retail price, because it only makes sense.
You hear what the offer is. They basically help you at Retail Empire to get into retail stores through their service. I know that Talor is willing to jump on a call with anyone to talk them through the service. And to be honest, they're the best people that I know about getting into retail. So if you want to get into retail, I would have a conversation with them anyway. And trying to hire a person that can do this, I mean, I don't know where you'd start. You have to build your own process. And to be honest, it's a good deal to get going anyway. To test, I would not hire a person for 5 to 10K a month. I would go with the service, test it, and if it goes well, you can do what you want to do at that point. So I know they're offering 20% off to any listeners of this podcast. If you want to head to retail-empire.com or email retail-empire.com, then you can reach out to them.